Have you ever felt like you're always the one who has to give, always the one being taken advantage of by others? Have you ever wondered why you keep finding yourself in toxic relationships or situations that make you feel manipulated? If the answer is yes, then this video is for you. Picture this. You're standing amidst a vibrant outdoor music festival. Thousands of people surround you, each immersed in the electrifying atmosphere, reveling in the melodies and the euphoria. Amidst this sea of humanity, the invitations to partake in various activities, the temptations from the colorful stalls, can easily lead you astray, making you forget your initial purpose. Can you hold your ground, fully enjoy the festival without getting swept away by frivolous distractions? Today, we will seek answers through the lens of Stoic philosophy. By exploring 7 profound lessons from this ancient school of thought, you will be equipped with powerful tools to resist temptations and maintain your integrity, even in a stimulating and bustling environment. We won't merely delve into theory. We will connect these timeless teachings to real-life situations, helping you see their value in your everyday life. If you find these insights helpful, please support us by liking and subscribing to our channel. Now, let's embark on this journey of discovering inner strength and finding true self-mastery. Number 1. Practicing detachment. One of the most important lessons that Stoic philosophy offers us is the practice of detachment. Epictetus, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, taught that the wise person does not grieve for what they do not have, but rejoices in what they do have. This advice encourages us to let go of excessive attachment to external possessions, outcomes, or the opinions of others. Practicing detachment means focusing on what we can control and not letting our happiness depend on external factors that we cannot control. Practicing detachment does not mean being indifferent or emotionless towards life and those around us. Rather, it is about learning to live consciously without being bound by things we cannot control. By doing so, we learn to recognize that true happiness and inner peace come from within, from how we perceive and respond to the world, rather than from external circumstances like money, fame, or recognition from others. The greatest benefit of detachment is emotional resilience. When you depend less on external factors for happiness, you become emotionally stronger and less affected by unexpected changes or undesirable events. This is particularly helpful in situations where others might try to manipulate you through promises or threats. If you're not overly attached to outcomes, you will be less susceptible to psychological tricks and more able to make decisions wisely without being influenced by fleeting emotions. Imagine you are working at a company and a colleague proposes that you join a new project with the promise of a promotion if the project succeeds. However, you realize that this person may be exploiting your participation to achieve their personal goals, and the project may not align with your long-term goals and values. If you have practiced detachment, you will not be swayed by the promise of promotion and will be able to evaluate the proposal more objectively. You will consider other factors, such as the project's feasibility, its impact on your career, and whether it aligns with your personal direction and values. In this way, you will make decisions based on reason and freedom, not pressured by external forces. Practicing detachment helps us become free from the control of others and external situations. When we are less dependent on controlling outcomes, we live more freely, unbound by things that are not truly important to our happiness and growth. Moreover, by focusing on what we have and feeling grateful for it, we realize that happiness is not a distant destination but a state of mind we can cultivate every day. This is the key to living a peaceful and self-directed life, without being used or manipulated by others. Number 2. Embracing adversity. Stoics believe that difficulties in life are not something to fear or avoid, but are opportunities for us to grow stronger. As the philosopher Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. This perspective encourages us to view adversity not as a burden, but as a chance to cultivate patience, develop wisdom, and build inner strength. When faced with difficult situations, many people tend to react negatively, feeling discouraged or overwhelmed by unexpected challenges. However, Stoic philosophy advises us to change the way we perceive these challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, consider them valuable lessons that help us learn and grow. Every time we overcome a hardship, we not only improve our problem-solving skills, but also build self-confidence and resilience. This makes us more steadfast, less likely to be swayed by complex situations, and less vulnerable to the opinions or actions of others. By embracing adversity with a positive attitude and determination, we create a strong foundation for personal growth. When we view challenges as opportunities to develop resilience, we become less susceptible to manipulation by others, especially when they attempt to exploit our weaknesses to achieve their own goals. For example, if you are faced with a stressful work situation that could impact your self-esteem or career, see it as a chance to enhance your stress management abilities and improve your communication skills. In doing so, you not only navigate through the situation effectively, but also strengthen your position. Embracing adversity not only helps us build endurance and strength, but also fosters a more open mindset. Instead of worrying about changes, we learn to adapt and find the best ways to deal with challenges. This enables us to become freer from the influence of others and from the circumstances around us, opening up the possibility of developing a self-directed and peaceful life. Number 3. Understanding the nature of human desires. Desires are powerful and undeniable forces in human life. They can motivate us to achieve our goals, but if left unchecked, they can also lead us astray and cause us to lose direction. Manipulators are often acutely aware of the power of these desires and know how to exploit them to achieve their own ends. They may offer promises of immediate gratification or satisfaction in exchange for compliance, concessions, or even submission, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. By recognizing the temporary and changeable nature of desires, we can build a mental filter to assess situations more objectively. We understand that surface-level desires, such as the need for social recognition, material wealth, or power, often do not lead to lasting or true happiness. Once we grasp this, we can prevent ourselves from being drawn into empty promises or short-term temptations that manipulators might present. For instance, in a work environment, a colleague or boss may exploit your desire for promotion by making empty promises with no intention of fulfilling them. If you understand the nature of desire, knowing that this desire for advancement is part of a need for acknowledgement and control, you become less susceptible to such tactics. You will make decisions based on your long-term values and goals rather than chasing temporary promises. Thus, understanding the nature of desire allows us to see things from a broader perspective, maintain our autonomy, and become less susceptible to manipulation in any circumstance. Number 4. Accepting the present. Accepting the present is one of the core lessons of Stoicism, helping us not only to live more peacefully, but also to minimize the risk of being used or manipulated by others. Stoic philosophy teaches that we cannot change what has happened in the past, nor can we completely control the future. Instead, We can only control our reactions to what is happening right now. Accepting the present requires us to recognize and face reality as it is, rather than trying to change things beyond our control. When we accept the present, we avoid getting caught up in unrealistic expectations or fears about the future. This helps us steer clear of being drawn into empty promises or psychological tactics by those who seek to manipulate us. For instance, in a negotiation, if the other party sees that you are overly worried about potential risks, they may exploit this weakness to pressure you into making unfavorable concessions. However, if you practice accepting the present, you won't be distracted by uncertainties. Instead, you will focus on what you can control and make wise decisions based on clear and current information. Accepting the present also frees us from feelings of disappointment or regret about the past, which can make us vulnerable to manipulation. Manipulators often try to use past mistakes or fears to control our behavior. By accepting the present and focusing on mastering ourselves in this moment, we build a resilient mindset, making us less susceptible to words or actions intended to harm. Number 5, understanding self-worth. Understanding self-worth is an inward journey that allows us to find peace and inner strength in a turbulent world. Stoicism asserts that a person's value is not dictated by external factors like money, fame, or social status, but resides within in their virtues, thoughts, and steadfast adherence to their principles. Stoics believe that every individual possesses an intrinsic value that cannot be diminished by the judgments of others or by life circumstances. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "You become a slave to what you yield to, whether to avoid poverty, loss, or any other panic." This means we only become truly weak when we allow ourselves to be governed by external things, losing faith in our intrinsic worth. Understanding self-worth not only helps us avoid being manipulated or exploited by others, but also nurtures a profound sense of confidence and self-respect. When we realize that our value does not depend on societal standards or the opinions of others, we no longer feel pressured to please people or achieve meaningless goals. Instead, we act according to our values and principles, creating a life of authenticity and significance. We are no longer driven by the fear of loss or the desire for recognition, but live for what genuinely matters to us. Recognizing self-worth also helps us remain steadfast in the face of challenges and adversity. When we are aware of our intrinsic value, we are not easily swayed by difficulties, but instead see them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. We become stronger, more resilient, and less affected by external pressures or manipulation. Stoicism teaches us that self-worth is unchanging and cannot be eroded by external events. By understanding our self-worth in the spirit of Stoicism, we find the strength to live an authentic life, unshaken by superficialities and always loyal to our core values. Number 6, reducing desires to live a happier life. When we crave too many things, whether material or emotional, we often find ourselves in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction or discontent. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This statement implies that true wealth is not measured by what we own, but by our ability to limit our desires and find contentment with what we already have. By minimizing unnecessary desires, we free ourselves from dependence on external factors such as money, status, or the approval of others. These factors are often beyond our control, and basing our happiness on them can lead to a cycle of worry and dissatisfaction. Instead, when we learn to accept and appreciate what we have, we can find joy in the simple things of daily life, such as a good meal, a conversation with friends, or a peaceful morning. Reducing desires also helps us escape the temptations of unnecessary comparison and competition. In a society that constantly encourages competition and the pursuit of material goals, we can easily be drawn into an endless race to have more than others. This not only harms our mental health but also detracts from the true values of life. By reducing our desires, we learn to focus on lasting values like honesty, patience, and love for ourselves and those around us. When we learn to limit our desires, we become freer. We no longer feel pressured to chase after distant or superficial things to prove ourselves or to seek validation from others. Instead, we live true to our values and beliefs. This is the path to a more peaceful, happy, and fulfilling life, as the Stoics have advised for centuries. Number 7. Focusing on yourself. A path to inner peace and personal growth. Focusing on yourself is one of the key elements to achieving inner peace and personal growth. In the modern world, we are often caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, influenced by the expectations of society, family, and friends. We tend to compare ourselves with others, trying to meet external standards, forgetting that each person has their own unique path and that only we truly understand what is best for us. Focusing on yourself is not an act of selfishness. Rather, it is a way to gain a clearer understanding of your values, goals, and personal needs, enabling you to make the best decisions for your life. When we focus on ourselves, we begin to listen to our inner voice, gaining a deeper understanding of what we truly want and need. This allows us to live more authentically, free from the influence of external pressures or social prejudices. Instead of pursuing goals that do not belong to us, we learn to set objectives that align with our values and personal dreams. This not only helps us feel happier and more fulfilled, but also allows us to maintain a positive and resilient mindset in the face of life's challenges. Moreover, focusing on yourself helps build self-esteem and confidence. When we know what we want and why we want it, we no longer depend on the approval of others. We gradually understand that our worth is not determined by what others think or how they judge us. This awareness helps us avoid situations where we might be exploited or manipulated by those with ill intentions. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video on how to avoid being used and manipulated. As we've discussed, having a clear understanding of your self-worth, deeply understanding your own desires, and practicing acceptance of the present are crucial tools that help us live a stronger and more independent life. Remember, no one can manipulate you if you truly know who you are, what you want, and the path you're on. Instead of letting others control your emotions and actions, focus on building inner resilience and establishing a solid foundation based on self-esteem and confidence. When you know how to manage your emotions, reduce unnecessary desires, and accept every situation with a calm mind, you become less susceptible to external influences. Life can be full of challenges and difficult situations, but we have the power to master it with clarity and awareness. Apply the strategies and lessons we've shared in this video to your daily life. Remember that change starts with you. Once you change how you perceive and respond to the world around you, you will no longer be an easy target for manipulation or exploitation. Keep faith in yourself. Continue to learn and grow, and remember that you deserve to live the life you truly want. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on meaningful content in the future. Feel free to leave a comment below if you have any thoughts or questions. I would love to hear from you. Thank you. and see you in the next video.